Hello mga kapatid, mga pamangkin, mga lolo, mga tita. Kumusta naman kayo? Dito nga nakahuling araw, tayo po ay nagbigay ng mensaheng ang pamagat ay God, Natural Law, and Life. At may mga very interesting reactions at nagtatanong sila, clarificatory, so wala na po bang prayer? Useless na ba ang mag-pray? Kaya pag-usapan po natin yan dahil siyempre hindi naman useless ang prayer. Ang pamagat ng ating pag-aaral, useless na ba to pray? Useless na ba ang prayer? So, in reaction to the major points that we have discussed about law of nature, na dapat iginagalang at huwag kang mag-pray to go against the law of nature, useless na ba ang prayer if mayroong objective, impersonal, automatic law of nature? Actually, ito yung diniscuss natin na that's now coming in back as a question. Useless na ba ang prayer if finished na ang work ng creation ng Diyos? At dapat na lang sumakay at sumunod sa established law of nature ang mga tao? And don't ask God na lang to recreate natural law just to accommodate our personalized, made-to-order requests? Actually, kung hindi nyo masyado naintindihan itong mga issues na to, balikan ninyo. Available naman sa YouTube yan sa ating channel sa YouTube, yung message na ito, na God, Natural Law, and Life. Ayoko nang ulitin pa ito dahil haba. Pero ito yung mga points that we have made and now the questions are being based on these points. So useless na daw ba ang prayer if we should listen to and obey God rather than make God listen to and obey us or our prayers? So sabi nung nagtatanong, so huwag na lang bang mag-pray? Of course not. Of course, huwag not na hindi ka na magpe-pray. Because Jesus taught His disciples how to pray, so definitely it is useful to pray. But may we suggest at this point, pray according to the teaching of Jesus per Matthew 6, 5-8. Ano ba yung sabi niya doon? And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their full reward. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. So, based on these principles that Jesus taught, pray. Just don't pray to be seen and heard by people. Now, sometimes you pray and are seen and heard, but unintentionally because nangyari na may mga tao or the event has some people present, hindi yan ang ibig nating sabihin. But don't pray simply to be seen and heard by people na i-display mo yung iyong piety para makita ka nagdadasal. Ayaw yun ng Diyos. Just pray in private whenever you can, as much as possible. Ang inyong lingkod, talagang I really prefer praying in public. It is very seldom that I am seen in public praying because I like to follow the Jesus model. And I really feel good following it, not because I just like to follow kasi yun ang model, kundi mas gusto ko talaga yung nagpe-pray mag-isa. Kasi hindi ko kailangan piliin yung words. Hindi ko kailangan ipaliwanag sa mga kasama ko kung ano yung pinagpe-pray ko. Hindi ko kailangan mag-perform. Hindi ko kailangan lakasan para marinig ng iba. So, mas nagiging totoo yung prayer. Personal ko yun. Mas gusto ko ang personal prayer. Pag kami nagsasabing, Pastor, ipag-pray niyo po ako. Sabi ko, ano ang prayer request mo? Sige, ipag-pray kita in private. Hindi yung kung saan kami naglalakad sa escalator, sa elevator, bigla ko siya hawakan sa ulo, palulo ko rin sa sahigat, ipag-pray ko siya, seen by everybody. Well, I have nothing against that being done by other people, but as for me, mas gusto ko na ipag-pray personally yung tao na walang nakakakita kahit siya hindi niya nakikita at hindi niya naririnig yung prayer ko. Kasi kung minsan, yung prayer ko naman is not always in total agreement sa request niya because I allow the Holy Spirit to guide me in what to pray for. So, mas may freedom ka pag private. Well, group prayer was practiced by the early believers, so it should have benefits. We have nothing against group prayer. In fact, ang daming benefit ng group prayer. And if, at the least, May therapeutic effect yan. Yung magkakasama kayo, naghahawak-hawak pa kayo ng kamay, kung hindi dapat physical distancing, yung nagsasabihan kayo ng inyong mga hinaing, ng inyong mga hopes and dreams, ang ganda ng emotional effect niya sa mga tao. So I am not going to discount the benefits of group prayer. Pero huwag i-group para ka lang makita ng iba na wow, prayerful yung group na ito. Diba? So, protect group and public prayer from the mistakes listed by Jesus. At sinabi na natin yun, hindi na natin yung iisa-isahin. Very importantly, protect group and public prayer from abuse. Kasi pwedeng magamit ang group prayer for political agenda. Ano ba, politician ako, kaya meron akong paboritong politician, tapos tatawag kunwari ako ng prayer event, ng religious event, ng worship event, tapos nandun bigla yung politiko na yun to promote. O kaya, siya ang ipagpe-pray pala. So, yung buong prayer, nagagamit for a political agenda, which is not necessarily shared by everyone present, di ba? O kaya naman, ay you want to show political muscle. You want to show the powers that be, na marami kang follower, na maraming susunod sa'yo. So, liligawan ka ng mga politiko. That's why you should protect public prayer from political agenda and from self and group promotion. Kasi may mga tao na siguro, I don't know, paano laman ang puso nila, pero gusto nila to be in the center of prayer life, of a community, of a nation, na laging sila nagpe-pray, laging pag may prayer event, dahil sila dapat ang nag-organize niyan, sila dapat ang pinagsasabihan, ipaprotect natin ang group prayer from that manipulation. In fact, kahit sa mga ibang mga local churches, yung mga ibang grupo, hindi sila makapag-pray nang hindi nagpapaalam doon sa prayer group na parang yung prayer group na ang may-ari ng prayer. So, na-abuse yung group prayer. Protect group and public prayer from needless control of persons, of sectors. Na sila yung mga prayer guru, sila yung mga prayer big time na hindi ka na pwede mag-pray without their permission. Tapos sila ang maglilista kung ano ipagpe-pray mo, i-assign nila kung sino ang magpe-pray. Di parang script na yun. Kaya madalas hindi ako mahilig sa mga group prayer. Yung halika, may national prayer na ganyan, may national prayer na ganon. Tapos may mga sikat-sikat na mga leader na sila maglilid ng mga prayer. Tapos may naka-assign na ano ipagpe-pray nila, gaano kahaba. Bakit pa tayo magsasama-sama? Di mag-pray na lang tayo sa kanila nating mga kwarto para mas matagal, mas malaya, at mas spirit-filled. Walang performance, walang script, walang entablado, walang lights. Kaya meron tayong mga discomfort about big prayer events. Hindi naman lahat merong very sincere at magandang effect. Pero dapat mong i-protect from the tendency na ma-manipulate ng mga organizer at maging sikat sila at sakyan nila yung event na yun sa pagpapataas nila sa kanilang kalagayan, kung ano man yun. Don't be verbose and repetitious. And this is the downside of public prayer. Because you have an audience. So marami kang salita na hindi para sa Diyos, kundi para sa tao. Diba sinasabi mo, Diyos ko, nagpapagawa po kami ng building, kailangan po namin ng 3 million. Yung pala ang kausap mo, yung mga kapwa mo nagpe-pray para malaman nila kung ano yung need. Dahil alam naman ng Diyos na nagpapagawa ka, alam niyang may kailangan ka, ba't kailangan pa sabihin sa prayer yon? But, if there are other people present, you have to say it, to explain it to them, because they don't know what you are praying for. Another downside of public prayer is that you need to project. Kung walang mic, lalakasan mo pa para marinig ng kaduluduluhan. Samantala kahit hindi mo naman bigkasin yun, dinig yun ng Diyos. So sino talaga ang audience ng prayer mo? Kasi dahil maraming tao, nauobliga ka to perform for people. So may performance. Downside pa rin yun. Don't pray to inform God because God knows. Diniscuss na natin yan noon. Balikan nyo na lang yung message natin on God, natural law, and life. Pero sabi ni Jesus sa Matthew 6:9-10, this is then how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So dapat yung will ng Diyos, ang sundin mo, hindi pilipitin mo ang braso ng Diyos to obey your will. Pray according to God's will. Do not pray to insist your will on God. Yung iba, pinipilit na ang Diyos, meron pang vows, may panata, meron pang pledge. Hindi mo kailangan gawin yun sa Diyos. Kasi kung gusto ng Diyos na ibigay isang bagay, kahit hindi mo nga hingin, ibibigay yan. Pero kung ayaw niya, kahit anong pledge ang gawin mo dyan, hindi niya ibibigay. So it's useless. What's the point? Pray according to God's will. But how to know God's will is an issue. And this is where knowledge of and respect for natural law come in. Kaya sabi natin, may papel ang natural law. Kasi gusto mong malaman ang will of God, alamin mo ang natural law kasi God ang author niyan. God has already clearly expressed the divine will in and through creation, and it's built in laws. The laws of gravity, the laws of physics, the laws of science, the laws of chemistry. Sundin mo lang yon, is as good as obeying God's will. Kasi God ang nag-create ng nature. Romans 1:20, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. So you understand God through what has been made, through nature, through natural law. Therefore, pray not to ask for exemption from natural law, but to respect and submit to it. Thoughts and actions that conform with natural law are non-verbal, non-formal prayers. Thoughts and actions are prayers. Halimbawa, planting is praying. It is faith in action. Bakit ka nagpa-plant kung hindi ka nananalig na tutubo yan? So, imbes pray ka ng prayer, Diyos ko, pakanin mo po kami, Diyos ko, bigyan mo po kami ng gulay, bigyan mo kami ng supply, di mag-plant ka, at pag nagpa-plant ka, yun yung prayer. Kahit nga hindi ka na mag-pray verbally, daig mo pa nag-pray verbally, kasi nag-plant ka through action, nag-pray ka through action. Cleaning is praying. Helping others is praying. Working is praying. Yung Lord, i-bless mo po ako na magkaroon ng kita, magkaroon kami ng mga supply sa pangangailangan namin, mag-work ka. And when you work, you are praying. Expressing delight is praying. Yung kakain ka, hindi naman laging, Diyos ko, pinupuri namin po kayo sa pagkain na binibigay niyo sa amin. Hindi kailangan verbal. Yung sabi mong, wow, ang sarap. Wow, delicious. Wow, very appetizing. That is prayer because that is expressing delight and that is praying. Praising is praying. Hindi kailangan pinupuri ka namin, Diyos, pinupuri po kita. O ano mo pinupuri mo sa akin? Puro ka pinupuri. Ano yung pinupuri mo? Pero para sabihin mo, ang ganda ng sunrise, ang lamig ng ilog, ang lamig ng hangin, that is praising God. And that is prayer. This is how to pray without ceasing. With thought, action, habit, and lifestyle. Kaya maraming tao, mapipintasan sila ng iba, hindi naman siya prayerful, hindi namin sila nakikita nagpe-pray, hindi siya sumasama sa mga prayer meeting, pero wow, ang dami niyang charity work ha. Prayer yun. Yung ang dami-dami niyang project, ang dami niyang creativity, ang dami niyang tinutulungan, ang dami niyang minamahal, prayer yun. Daig nun yung nagpe-pray verbally. Ngayon, kung ganun ka na, nagpe-pray ka pa verbally, the best of both worlds. Pero kung puro ka pray verbally, pero wala kang action, kino-contradict ng lifestyle mo yung words of your prayer. So nothing will happen because you are a divided person. And a person who is divided will never please God. So do not willfully, habitually break natural law. Then ask God through prayer for suspension of its automatic results and effects on you. James 2:17, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Halimbawa, you are living very unhealthfully, then praying for good health. Magkakontra yung action mo, tsaka yung prayer mo. Or praying for peace of mind. Tapos kandarapa ka sa panonood ng bad news, sa mga scary religious messages. Yung nagpapanik attack ka na nga, nagkakaroon ka na nga ng contraction kahit hindi ka pa dapat manganak. Nagkakaroon ka na ng palpitation sa takot sa mga nangyayari. Tapos nakababad ka pa rin sa bad news. Exchange ka ng mga video ng mga nakakatakot, mga nakakalungkot. Tas pray ka ng for peace of mind. Kinokontra ng action mo, yung words mo sa prayer. Kaya yung action, yun ang mas tatalab na prayer. Yung may mga ipapadala sa'yo ng video, ang lungkot-lungkot ng buhay ng frontliner na ito. Bakit mo pa babasahin? Alam na natin generally na malungkot, tulungan natin sila sa magagawa natin. Pero bakit kailangan ko pang isa-isahin lahat ng lungkot at hirap niya? Ang ending, nagpanic attack ako, ninervyos ako, natakot ako, nakatulong ba yun? Tapos magpe-pray ako, Diyos ko, bigyan niyo po ako ng kapayapaan, ng katahimikan. Paano ka matatahimik kung yung ginagawa mo, nag-i-invite ka ng gulo sa loob ng iyong brain? Ganyan din yung patahimikin niyo po ang aming pamilya, magkaroon kami ng peaceful family. Tapos awayan kayo ng awayan, wala kayong bigayan, wala kayong pasensyahan. Tapos pray kayo ng pray. Yung action nyo, yun ang louder prayer. Kaya na sinasabi nating natural law and prayer. Magpe-pray ka na patahimik ka ng iyong buhay, pero ang inang law na sinusunod mo is hindi ka gumagawa ng tama, edi hindi ka aanin ng tama, doon nababaliwala yung prayer. Pero kung yung prayer mo ng yung salita ay naka-agree sa yung action, very nice yung prayer na yan. Hindi yan useless. While miracles or suspension of natural law is for the benefit of specific beneficiaries, may be asked for, and might even be granted, it should only be the last resort. Kasi yung prayer for miracle, actually, you're asking God to suspend natural law to favor you. Pwede namang hingin at pwede nga ibigay pa ng Diyos, pero dapat last resort yan, hindi first. Only when people had already done everything they could normally do, and to no avail. Sagad ka na sa magagawa mo, doon ka nalang humingi ng miracle. Pero sumagad ka muna, hindi wala kang ginagawa, miracle agad. Or when people are caught in sudden, unexpected, and undeserved crisis. Pwede ka namang humingi ng miracle. Yung biglang-bigla, hindi mo talaga napaghandaan, hindi mo inaasahan, at hindi mo naman talaga deserved, hindi mo sinadya na i-break ang natural law. So you may ask for a miracle to be exempted from natural law. And of course, when a valid need is far greater and beyond the person's natural capacity and resources. Lumalangoy ka sa isang ilog na biglang lumakit, inaagos ka, pero hindi ka naman talaga super swimmer, hindi ka talaga magaling, pero nagsisikap ka, valid yung need mo na gusto pang mabuhay, tapos konti lang ang capacity mo, then ask for a miracle. Napaka-posibleng ibigay yun. Pero yung tumatalon ka sa isang napakalalim na tubig na hindi ka naman talaga swimmer, at hindi mo naman sinukat yung mga bato doon kung may tatamaan ka ba, ang careless mo, tapos hihingi ka ng himala nung nalulunod ka na doon, ewan natin kung bibigyan ka ng ganong himala. Do not substitute verbal prayer for doing what God, expressing through natural law, wants you to do. So prayer equals words, but also thoughts, also actions. Useless na ba to pray? Of course not. It is very useful to pray, but do not pray only with words. Pray with thought, with action, with habit. Pray according to natural law. God bless all of us.